position, I'd like you to come into Tadasana. So just push your feet to fist width apart. I want you to squeeze your bottom muscles, push your feet into the floor, lift your belly button away from your trouser line, shoulders back and down, and then line your neck up with your shoulders. I have found that quite a few people, when they pull their shoulders back, that their ribs stick up. So don't think about your ribs. If your ribs are sticking up, but this is only if you feel like your ribs are sticking up, you want to still extend the tummy up, but then just push the ribs down. So the exaggeration would be if you push your ribs up, look, I'm really arched back, and by pushing them down, I'll straighten my body up a little bit. Excellent. So we're just going to start nice and gently. I want you to close your eyes and just breathe in and out gently through your nose. Just keep breathing. And just gently allow your mind to focus on your breathing. Breathing in and out through your nose. Just make sure you keep your body nice and firm, nice and tall, nice and strong. And then we're going to open the eyes. So the practice we're going to do today is around opening up the flexibility in your hips and strengthening your hamstrings. We will work on other parts of the body as well, but that's my focus today. I normally have a theme to the class, and that's what my theme is today. I can't see you, so I can't do adjustments. But what I can do is try and talk you through the things I see people doing generally in a class. So remember, keep your shoulders down as much as you can. You know who I'm talking to? You only do what you can do. Don't follow me, because obviously I do a lot of yoga and I'm a little bit more au fait with the position. So if your body can't do it, just do what you can do. When we're stretching, just allow it to happen slowly. Don't force it. Listen to your body and make sure the stretches happen slowly. Sometimes your body will produce some tightness and you'll think you can't go past it. But actually, when you use your breath, it might help to relax the stretch and allow you to move just a little bit forward. And even if it's by a millimetre, it's an improvement. Beware of your weaknesses. So again, shoulders as an example. If you find your shoulders keep rising up to your ears, you've got to try and relax the shoulders, bring them back down. Listen to my verbal cues and take it slowly. Some government guidelines have been that you need to drink water regularly. So if you've got water by you, make sure you take a drink every 15 minutes. I'll try and give guidance throughout the session saying, right, 15 minutes is up and have some water. I can't play music at the moment because I don't have a license to play music through YouTube, but I have worked out how to do it this morning. So hopefully on the next sessions there will be some music. But if you want to put your own music on, please do so. I don't have any balances in this class today. So just be mindful though, when you're doing postures, that your floor is probably different. So if you're on carpet or if you're on wooden floor, so when you come to kneel on the carpet, when you kneel on the wooden floor, you'll find that your knees may not like the strain. So we are going to come onto our knees. Maybe get a cushion and put the cushion under your knees. So just be aware of what your body's telling you. If it's uncomfortable, come out of it. But please bear in mind, I cannot hear you. The only way I could probably hear you is if you send me a message on WhatsApp. So I have my phone just by me by the side here. So let's start. We're just going to start by activating our shoulders and our neck. So bring yourself into Tadasana again. And you're going to roll your shoulders backwards. Just make sure you're breathing as you do this. And inhale for one circle and exhale for the other. Bring them back the other way. So inhaling and exhaling for alternate circles. Just make sure you're really focusing on your breath as well as your movement. I'm going to shrug the shoulders up to the ears, so bring them up. As you inhale, hold them up, squeeze them up, and let go with a little sound. We're going to do that again. Inhale up and exhale down. And just one more time. Inhale up and exhale down. Lovely. So we're just going to work on the neck. So just take your neck over to the right-hand side. So take the neck over to the right-hand side, and we're just going to bring the neck round towards the side. Circling it round, nice big circle. Don't take it up too high. Keep your neck nice and neutral at the top. Just do the circle coming down to the bottom. So we'll circle it down. And do that one more time. And then bring it back to the other side. We're going to do 3 on this side. So circle down. Do it to your own pace. Don't rush. Just do what your neck feels like it wants to do. And be aware of how it feels when you're doing it. You might have tightness or a crunchy neck. Make sure you relax your shoulders as you do it. So we're just going to take our right arm up to the sky. Now, I'm having trouble with this because my videos keep turning sides. So it doesn't matter which arm you do as long as you do the other arm. So hopefully I'm putting up my right arm. You can see my right arm and you're bending it down behind your back. If you want to, you can take the hand onto the elbow and bring it over to the side. So you should feel a nice stretch opening through the chest, through the muscles of your chest and right up through your arm. Just use that hand to apply a little bit more pressure. So there is another way that you can do this stretch. So we're just pulling, but what you could do is push with the elbow. So you feel like the elbow is going that way. So this is a PNF stretch like we were doing in class on Wednesday. So you just push out, hold it, and then release and relax your arms as you exhale. We're going to do the other side. So inhale, bring the hand up, bring the elbow down, bring the other arm over the top, and just pull it closer towards your head. Try not to stick your neck too far forward, try and straighten up. And again, if you want to pull against this stretch, you can pull the hand towards your head and push the elbow away, so you're pushing and strengthening through the muscles. It's excellent for improving the flexibility of your muscles because it adds strength to the muscle and flexibility at the same time. So release the tension, and as you exhale, lower your arms down to... We're going to give ourselves a little hug. We're not allowed to give other people hugs at the moment, so this is the only way I can think of getting a hug. So wrap your hands around, put your hands onto the shoulders, and just pull your shoulders forward a little bit. Enjoy the hug. It's got to be 20 seconds, hasn't it? Didn't I say? No, I'm not counting. So think about bringing your elbows up away, so you bring them up towards your chin. So my arms are coming up. And as you exhale, bring them in. Inhale them up. And exhale them down. Lovely. And then just release the hands, give your hands a nice little shake. So we are going to do a small flexion now. So just standing up nice and tall, we're just going to take the hand down the side. So take your right hand as you exhale down your right leg. So you're doing a side stretch. You should get a stretch coming all the way through here. Sometimes people feel it in the lower back or in the side. It just depends on your body really and how your body feels it. So just be mindful as you're doing this stretch. We're going to inhale, come up, exhale, go to the other side. Just work out how the stretch feels different from one side to the other. It's just a case of trying to understand your body. Inhale, bring it back to centre. We're going to do that one more time. So you're going to take your right hand down to the side and also lift the left arm up towards the sky. So you're adding a little bit more weight to the stretch. Now the stretch should increase and come all the way through your arm, through your shoulder, all the way down to your hip. Inhale, bring it back to the centre and exhale down. One more time on the other side. Inhale, Exhale, take your arm down, your left leg. Inhale your right arm up to the sky. And then inhale, bring your arm back and release your hand down. So we're going to start off doing some more stronger moves because we've just done shoulder work. We're going to take our feet to just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And again, bring yourself into that nice strong position. So engage your tummy muscles, squeeze your bottom, get yourself nice and straight. Just breathe, and on your exhale, you're just going to bend your knees, push your knees forward, keep your heels to the floor and push your bottom back a little bit, but you want to stay nice and straight, and then inhale back up. So as you exhale, you're bending the knees, the feet are flat, staying flat to the floor, my back's nice and straight, and I'm looking forward, my neck's in line with my head. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. And exhale, come down. Lovely. Bring yourself back up to standing. We're going to do a forward bend. So bring your feet fist width apart again. We're going to inhale, lift the hands up to the sky. As you exhale, swan dive your hands down to the floor, bringing them to wherever works for you. So relax your neck. Allow your hands to just gently, slowly come closer to the floor. So if you feel like your hamstrings are really tight, then you might want to bend the knees with a gentle bend, not too much, but just so you take the tension out of the hamstring, the back of the thigh. Just breathe nice and calmly. And if you can, bring your hands to your legs. So it doesn't matter where you're grabbing, whether it's the knees, the shins, or the ankles. What we're going to do is bend the knees. So as you exhale, you're going to bend your knees and bring your bottom down so that your belly rests on your legs. If I show you that from the side, just resting. Try and get your back nice and straight. So if you're curving the back over, you want to open the chest, straighten the back out. Hopefully not put too much of a curve through your lower back. Hands still on your knee, your ankles or your shins. And I want you to straighten back up into a forward bend. So as you exhale, push your bottom up towards the sky, really pushing to try and stretch those hamstrings. Relax your neck, look towards your knees. And on your next exhale, we're going to do that again. So you're bending the legs down, bringing the bottom down. Just do what works for you. Just make sure you're breathing. So this is a strong strengthening position because you're having to stay in almost that chair-like position. And then on your next exhale, push your bottom back up to the sky. So you're trying to straighten the legs. Got a gap between the belly and the thighs. Just slowly allow yourself to push your bottom up towards the sky. And then we're going to come out of this position. So on your next inhale, you're going to bring your hands up towards the sky, slowly coming up with your breath. Hands up to the sky. Bring your hands to your heart center and release. Lovely, well done. So if you've got the hang of that one where we're bending and stretching, we're now going to do that position with a wide-legged stance. So this one's a little bit more fun. So take your legs out nice and wide, not too wide, but nice wide. I've probably got about a 3 foot gap. So you're going to inhale your hands up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands down towards the floor. So again, you can bring them towards your floor or onto your legs. So if you get to the knees and that's where you get to, then stay there. If you can come down and grab the rest of your body, like your ankles, come down to where it works for you. So relax your neck down, look at your knees. Just breathe nice and gently. And we're going to do the same again. So as you exhale, you're going to bend the knees and bring the bottom down so that the body kind of is in line with the knees. You're not coming down too low and you're not bringing your bottom down too low. Just stay here. Feel my tendons in my ankles flicking all over the place to try and keep my body upright. So
As you exhale, push your bottom up to the sky. Head looks through your legs. Really push the bottom up. Feel like you're getting a big stretch in those hamstrings. And then as you exhale again, bring yourself down into that squat-like position where your body is coming in line with your knees. I'll just turn around to show you if you're still looking. So we're in a wide position like that. One more time, as you exhale, push your bottom up towards the sky. Try and straighten those hamstrings best you can. Really push the bottom up. Really push. And then one more time, come down into that squat position. Lovely, I'm just turning around. So I'm going to stay in this squat position, in this wide-legged position. So what I want you to do now is I want you to straighten your bottom up again, straighten your legs. And I'm going to show you the position. If you actually, come on up. So inhale, bring yourself to standing. So what I want to do for the next forward bend that we do is I want you to think about your hips. You're going to keep your knees straight, but you're going to push the hip out to the side, but keep the legs straight. And then you're going to push to the other side, keeping the legs straight. So just try that for me. Kind of pushing the hips, extend the hips out to the side. Lovely. So now you've done that, bring yourself back to the centre. We're going to come down into the forward bend with the wide legs and do that movement with the body stretched over. So inhale, bring your hands up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive your hands down to the floor. Just bring them into the same position you had before, so on the knees or somewhere on the shin, whatever works for you. So as you inhale, push your hip over to the left-hand side. Feel that stretch come through the right inner thigh, really trying to push the hip away. Inhale, bring it back to centre. Exhale, push it over the other way. Inhale, bring it back to centre. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale, back to centre. Push one more time to the other side. Then bring your hips back to the centre. I want you to take your right hand over to your left foot, so you're now twisting round in this forward bend. So your both hands should be on the leg of your left leg. You're going to inhale, walk your hands back to the centre. Exhale, take them over to the right leg. So you're twisting round. And the stretch that comes into the back of your thighs moves into slightly different position from the stretches we've done before. We'll do that again on both sides. So inhale back to the centre. Exhale over to the left. Inhale back to centre. And exhale over to the right. And then come back into the centre. And we're going to come up from this position. So if your knees are feeling really tight, maybe bend the knees and then slowly inhale, bring yourself up to an upright position. Lovely. Just give those legs a nice shake. I can really feel I've been stretching through my hamstrings, which is the purpose of today's class. We're going to come down onto our knees now. So take into consideration your flooring. And just before you do that, take a sip of water, because I think we're about 15 minutes in. Okay, lovely. So because my flooring is wooden, I'm going to bring a cushion under my knees. So just bring yourself down onto the floor and bring your knees down. Release your feet. And if you can, I know a lot of people struggle with this, if you can, sit back on your heels. If you can't and you're only here, then it doesn't matter. We can do the stretch from up here. So I'm going to show the stretch from here. If you can come down, then just come down. We're going to do an opening of our shoulders. So you're going to take your hands behind your back and intertwine your fingers. Pull your hands down towards the lower part of your bottom so your arms are nice and long. And then as you exhale, you want to push your shoulder blades together behind you so you open your shoulders up. And just breathe nice and deeply.
And remember, just do any position for the time that works for you. Sometimes I hold it a little bit long, but I'm just trying to challenge you, but you don't have to do it. And don't forget, I can't see you, so I don't know. Somebody could be sitting on the sofa for all I know. So just release your arms and give yourself some shoulder rolls. And we're going to come on down into child's pose. So again, with child's pose, if you like to have your knees nice and wide, you can take the knees out nice and wide, bring the big toes together. Sit back over your heels, and then as you exhale, slowly walk your hands down into child's pose. Try and think about pushing your bottom onto your heels still, and slowly lower down to the floor. But you really want to try and keep your bottom as low to your heels as you can do. And just breathe, allow yourself to relax. Try and focus on what your body is doing rather than what your mind is trying to tell you. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to bring ourselves back up. We're going to do a couple more movements on our knees, but we're going to come up onto our knees. So bring yourself up, inhale up. I want you to step your right leg forward. So just bring the right leg forward. So you're on the back knee and this foot is forward. So you should have a nice bend in this knee and you should be nice and upright. Again, if your knee hurts in this position, which is different, make sure you put the cushions under the knee. So as you exhale, we're just going to push this knee forward slightly. So you're just increasing the stretch, but you don't want the heel to come off the floor. You want to keep that stretch within range. So if your calf is tight, you might find that the heel wants to come off. So if it does, just bring the position back slightly. So I'm just going to change my position and come forward so I can show you the movement in detail. So I'm facing forwards and my hands are down by my side. We're going to add a side flexion or side bend into this posture. So we're going to take the left hand first, the one where your leg is out in front of you, and take your body down. So as you exhale, come down to the side. Now this is quite hard to do because you're trying to balance. So you're trying to use your core to keep your body from falling over. If you feel like you want to, you could also lift the right arm up, the arm that's not down towards the floor, and stretch that arm over. So inhale, bring your arm up, and exhale, lower it down. We're going to do the other side. So as you exhale, bring that down the leg, and inhale, take the other arm up to the sky. You might find one side's a bit more wobbly than the other, but we're using a different set of muscles on both sides. Inhale, bring it back to the centre, and lower it down. Stay there. If your knee is hurting, remember you can adjust, put the cushion under. I'm just moving so you can see the difference in position. So what I want you to do now is take your hands to the floor and push back so that you're straightening the front leg. So this leg should now be straight. We're doing a half split. So the intention is just to lean forward over the leg. Use your hands to support you and feel the stretch coming through underneath your hamstring through here. If you feel the leg's not in quite the right position, you can always sort of move the leg forward a little bit. And just relax your head down, coming into the position. If you're feeling that stretch is overpowering, you can always bend the knee ever so slightly. And just relax. Try not to overstretch. And then we're going to come up. So think about bending your front leg, bend the knee, put the foot to the floor, step it back, and then we're going to swap legs. So bring that leg back,
And you're going to bring the other leg forward.
So we're going to do that first stretch again. So this is runner's lunge. You're just going to take the knee forward slightly, keep the heel to the floor, and you should feel some kind of stretch coming through this side of the hip, the back hip. Just squeezing gently, pushing forward, keep your body nice and upright. And remember, we're going to add those side bends in. So starting with the leg that you've got forward, take the hand closest to the leg, hope it's your right leg, you're going to take that hand down towards the floor. And if you want to, you're going to inhale, lift this hand up towards the sky and just twist over to that side. We're not twisting, you're just side bending. And interestingly, doing this side, I feel it right in the front here, whereas I didn't on the other side. Inhale, bring your hand back to the centre. Exhale down. Inhale. And as you exhale, take your left hand down to the floor. When I say down to the floor, I'm not actually reaching the floor, just saying that's the direction of travel. And then maybe think about inhaling the other arm up to the sky. Don't have to do this, you might find you fall over. Be careful. Just make sure you breathe. And inhale, bring it back to the centre. Exhale, release it down. Inhale. Exhale, take your right hand down towards the floor. Inhale, up. I've done this already, haven't I? I'm duplicating myself. Bring it back to the centre and release. Okay. And then we're going to come up to standing. So just bring yourself up to standing and give those knees a nice little shake. And we're going to come down onto the floor into a seated position. So just take some water before you transition. Lovely, well done everybody. So we are going to bring ourselves down onto the floor now. So I'm just going to put a cushion under my bottom. Oops, that was a bit low. And I'm going to sit cross-legged on the floor. So if you are like me and your knees come up quite high, then maybe put a block under your bottom. We're going to stay here and do a few little movements. So sitting nice and tall. So just start with, we're just going to take our hands to our heart centre. Close our eyes. Just breathe nice and gently. Just be aware of your body and how the breath is moving your ribs, and that your shoulders are down. You haven't got your shoulders too high. Relax them down. And then open your eyes, and we're going to change position slightly. So I want you to take your right leg out to the side, so as if you're doing a wide-legged stretch, and keep your left leg where it was. I'm going to do a side flexion again. So I want you to take the direction of your body so it's looking along your short leg. So I've twisted round and I'm now looking down my short leg. Just place your right hand to the floor. As you inhale, take your left hand up to the sky and just come over to the side. So you're flexing again through this side. This is all stretching the hips. And the intention would be to try to reach your foot. We might be a long way off, but you can feel slowly that the stretch will allow, and slowly and surely you'll come down to the soil. Just a bit more. Because your body will slowly allow you to. If it feels really tight and uncomfortable, just stay there and allow your body to accept. This is as far as you go. So we're going to inhale, bring ourselves back up. Exhale, take the hand down. So we're facing down the short leg now. I want you to face down the long leg. So you might need to adjust the leg slightly so that you're looking down the leg. If you heard a big slam then, that's my husband leaving the house. At least it wasn't during Shavasana, that's normally when it happens. So inhale, bring your hands up to the sky. Bring your hands together, and as you exhale, just lean forward. Bring your hands down towards your legs. Again, this is a nice forward bend that we're doing. Be aware of your hamstrings or your calves and even your bottoms. So if you feel okay, just slowly allow yourself to relax down towards your leg. Use your breathing to come on down. And hopefully you feel like you've had a good stretch, because we're going to come back up. So as you inhale, bring yourself up. I'm going to do those 2 movements on the other leg. So extend your left leg out and bend your right leg in. So make sure you're sitting nice and tall. We don't want the back to be curved or your shoulders to be up. Bring your shoulders down, sit nice and tall, engage your tummy muscles. We give them a squeeze. You're almost trying to suck them towards your spine. So I'm going to turn along the short leg. Just bring your left hand down to the floor. Inhale your right arm up. And you're going to exhale, coming over to the side. And gently trying to reach towards that foot. You might find that one side is much more flexible than the other. To make this stretch a bit stronger, you might look up towards the sky, kind of towards your armpit. That does change the stretch in your hip. And then we inhale. Bring the arm up. Exhale, bring the arm down. So now we're turning to look along the long leg. And I naturally find that I need to bring my long leg in slightly so that I can look along it. Just take a few breaths. I'm going to inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, come on over. Make sure your neck's relaxed, and I'll just fan my shoulders right up by my ears. So just relax your shoulders down. We all do it. Engage your tummy muscles. And just listen to what your body's telling you. So I can feel tension right in my knee, just here, just on my right leg. And that feels quite uncomfortable. So I'm just going to adjust my leg so that the tension is taken out of the knee. Listen. Your body's trying to tell you something. But it's like learning Morse code or semaphores. It's really complicated and it takes a while. So just relax and breathe nice and deeply. And then we're going to inhale, come on back up and bring your knees together. Just give yourself a nice little hug, second hug of the day. Just rock yourself nice and gently. So we're going to come into butterfly pose next. So bring your feet together, knees together, and I always just take my hands to the inside of my knees and just make it visual so you can see that I'm opening the legs. My feet, the soles of my feet are touching, and I'm just holding my toes gently. But you don't want to have a curved back. The back needs to be nice and straight and upright. You want to squeeze your tummy muscles in. Just breathing nice and gently. I'm just turning around to the side, just to show you the next part of the move. So hopefully you see my back is nice and straight. I want you to really be straight and see whether you can use and pull against your feet with your hand to see whether you can keep the back straight. Just come forward a little. Make sure your neck's nice and in line and those shoulders are down. By pulling against your feet, you're using your biceps and the muscles in your arms. So this is quite a good one for strengthening the arms. And then inhale, bring yourself back up. I'm turning that round again, sorry. So this time, I want you to think about seeing if you can push some weight into your legs. Now, if you've got real good flexibility in your hips, you might be able to push down and hold down. But when I do that, I find my shoulders come up and I can't get the strength through my legs. My legs just want to spring up. So for me, I will hold on to my ankles and I use my elbows into my thighs and push my thighs down. But then obviously I'm leaning forward, but that's fine. So we're just adding a little bit of strength. Just make sure you're breathing and feel that stretch is increasing. And just release. So just to show you, so if you look where my knees are now, you can see above the skirting board, my knees are quite high. But as I push down, I can really get some kind of purchase onto them. They won't stay there, but that's just helping to stretch the legs. And one day, I live in hope that they may relax and come down. Inhale, bring your knees back to the centre and give yourself a third hug. Oh, I hope everybody's okay. We're going to come down to the floor. We're not quite in Shavasana mode yet, but we're going to bring ourselves down to the floor and do some stretches again for the hips. We've got a couple of stretches to do. So if you're sitting on a pillow or a block, just remove it. I'm going to lay down to the floor. Actually, before we lay down, maybe take another sip of water. Or a big glug. So just bring yourself down onto the floor and bring your knees up to your chest. So just squeeze your knees into your chest. And instead of rocking from side to side, which we would normally do in Apanasana, just put your hands onto your knees. Or if your knees are tight, you can put the hands under the knees and you just rock the legs backwards and forwards. So you almost feel your bottoms coming off the floor. It's only a gentle move there, nothing too hard. And then release. So you're going to take your right leg down to the floor, straighten the leg out and push your heel away from you. Now, when I say that, I've never mentioned before that if you push too far, that your hips will come out of line. So you really need to think about your hip placement. Keep the hips in line, but push the leg out. Grab hold of your left knee and squeeze the knee into your chest. And if you find that you can't get the knee down and you feel like there's some kind of restriction in your hip, it could be your hip bone. So what you need to think about doing is just taking the knee out away from the body, out to the side, so you're coming out to the left side a little bit more, and then squeeze it in, and that might help to open the hip up a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do, right hand down to the floor to balance you. This time, I've not done this move before, so take your hand to the inside of your thigh on your left arm, and your left leg, you're going to push down towards the floor. Keep your shoulders down, and keep both bum cheeks on the floor. So as soon as you start to feel your bottom cheek lifting, then it's not the right move. So bring the knee up a little bit. And what you will find is with the hands slowly laying on the leg, that the leg will relax and it may allow you to come down without your right bottom cheek coming off the floor. But just do it gently, just feel it slowly. Just breathing. Just allow that stretch to increase. I'm going to bring that leg back to the centre. So if you need to help, you can bring the hand underneath the leg and bring the leg back to the centre. Just squeeze the leg in. So now we're going to do my normal stretch that I do. So take your left hand down to the floor, right hand onto the outside of your knee, and take the knee over the side, across the midline of the body, as if you're trying to get the left knee down to the right side of the floor.
Keep both shoulders down on the floor and allow this stretch to come through your lower back, through the side of your body and into your bottom. Using the right hand, you might find that you can push the hand onto the leg a little bit more and your body will give, but make sure your shoulder stays on the floor. Just do that a few more times. And then we're going to bring the leg to the centre. So when you're ready, on your next inhale, bring the knee up and stretch it towards your chest. Now, I have forgotten to mention that you need your strap. So if you have your strap close by, if not, get yourself up and get it. We're going to put that strap over the leg. So I'm just waiting a moment, just in case anybody's had to get up. And wrap the strap around the foot of your left leg. So what I want you to think about doing is making sure that your leg is straight. So if you have to take your leg down towards the floor a little bit more to get it straight, that's perfectly fine, because you're using the strap to support yourself. The intention of this posture is to try and stretch the hamstring a little bit, but obviously be careful with it. A lot of people have got tight hamstrings or weak hamstrings. So what I want you to do is think about pulling the strap towards you, keeping your knee straight. If you get to the stage where it's overpowering and your knee has to bend, then you've gone too far. Push back to the straightest position you can get to and hold there. Some people are really flexible and you might be able to put it way further than I'm showing you, so please do so. But I want you to be mindful of your leg that's on the floor. You don't want the leg bent up. You want the legs straight and flat to the floor. So your calf is touching the floor, the back of your heel is touching the floor, and there's not much room between your thigh and the mat. So just slowly pull that leg forward, keep it straight, and make sure you're breathing. Feeling how all of your body feels as you do this stretch. So are your shoulders down? Is your tummy engaged? Are you feeling a stretch through your bottom, the back of your thigh, the back of your shin to your calf? And if you wanted to make the stretch a little bit more powerful, you could flex the toes down towards your face. And that really brings the power into my calf. I can really feel my calf changing stretch when I do that. Release the toes. As you exhale, bring the toes back down again. And inhale, bring them back. And then we're going to release this leg. So just bend the knee, take the strap off, and just put the strap down to one side. And we're going to swap over to the other leg. So take your left leg down to the floor and inhale, bring your right knee up to your chest. Remember to lengthen this leg out, keep the hips nice and in line with each other, push the foot away from you, and just gently pull the knee into your chest. So we're going to do the move where we take the knee out to the outside. So left hand down to the floor, right hand to the inside of your knee, and as you exhale, take the leg over. Now this is my tight hip, so I feel really uncomfortable already. I've not gone very far at all. So I'm just allowing my leg to slowly relax and make sure my bottom stays on the floor. And all of a sudden it's started to go down. So I'm not using my hand, but you can if it works for you. So my leg is slowly opening, slowly releasing. That's it. And now it feels comfortable. It's accepted what I wanted to do, whereas it was uncomfortable to begin with. Really think about your tummy muscles. Squeeze them towards your spine. They're quite important in this move. And your shoulders, bring them away from your ears. Push them into the floor. Allow that leg to slowly soften. And if you want to, if you're like me, I haven't used my hands. I feel comfortable to put my hand on there now. And I've actually felt I've moved another centimetre. Whew. My new favourite stretch, when my body allows it. So we're going to take our hands to the outside of the knee. And then as you inhale, pull that knee back towards the centre and just squeeze it into your chest. Bring your right hand up to the knee. Bring your left hand up to the knee. Take your right hand down to the floor, take your left hand to the outside of your knee, and just take this knee across the midline. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears and bring them onto the floor. Really try and push into the floor with the shoulder. And just again, allow that stretch to happen. Like what just happened to me on the other side, my leg wasn't interested. You might find that all of a sudden your body goes, oh, I can do this. It just allows you to sink just a little bit further. Well done. Really good. So then just take the hand underneath the knee, and as you inhale, bring the knee back to the centre. Squeeze the knee into the chest. So we're going to take the strap again. So you want to take the strap, get it round your foot. If you haven't got a strap, you can do this by just grabbing the thighs or grabbing the calves. So again, bring that leg into a nice straight position. Grab the strap, and as you breathe slowly and surely, you'll find the leg will come up. Now, as soon as it starts to bend, that means your body's saying, no, I've had enough. Listen to your body, take the leg back till it comes to that straight position. Just allow your body to be in charge, not your mind. So I feel that I can stretch mine a little bit further, so I'm just pulling it further towards me. And that's it, I've reached my range, my leg has started to shake. So I'm just going to take it back ever so slightly. And then flex the toes. As you exhale, inhale, unflex them. Exhale, flex the toes. Inhale, point. We'll do that one more time. Exhale down. Inhale up. And then we're going to bend the knee. Release the strap. Lovely. You will be pleased to know it is Shavasana time. So just bring your knees up to your chest and squeeze your knees in. Rock from side to side. And then if you can reach any of the little bits and pieces we talked about bringing, like pillow, your floor might be a bit hard, so you could put a pillow or a small block under your head. Don't put the big fat blocks under your head, because that means you're lifting your head too far. You want your back to be nice and straight. If you've got any blankets, and you've brought in that little hand towel, then fold your hand towel up so that you can put it across your eyes. It's just to block out the bright sunlight, and it does make a difference because it means you're not squinting from the light. And it is a bright sunny day, and some people might be doing it in a conservatory, or I've got quite a lot of light coming in through the windows, so it's just good to block the light out. So get yourself onto the floor, relax yourself down. Get yourself comfy. So think about your body and how it feels in the position of Shavasana. Have you got your shoulders back and down, away from your ears? Arms, I like my arms to be resting out nice and wide so that my shoulders come flatter. And just allow your legs to come out to the side of the mat if you've got them laying down, and allow your toes to gently point out towards the side. If you find that your back is too arched, I would always recommend that you bend your feet so that your back flattens towards the floor. And I'd like you to bring your breathing into your thoughts. Just breathe nice and gently. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. So we're going to go on a little imaginary walk. And I'm just going to start to set the scene. We've got the sun shining brightly. It's warm, but it's spring. There's big, puffy white clouds in the sky, but not too many. The
is enough that the sun is constantly shining through. There is a cool breeze, but you're wearing a coat, you're prepared for the breeze, but it's not too cold, it's just cool. And you can feel the breeze blowing against your skin on your face, and it's just making movement in the small hairs of your face. We've got our walking boots on, nice big pair of chunky socks, so our feet are nice and supported. And we're just going to set off and start walking on our path. Our path is covered with gravel, and our feet are crunching across the gravel. And outside of the gravel, there are big boulders and small boulders, kind of granite-like shapes, big structures. And then beyond the granite of the path, this path is meandering from left to right and back again. It's just kind of slowly walking its way along this beautiful meadow that we're in. The meadow is filled with green grass, and the grass is quite short for the time of year. Obviously the grass has started to grow, but there are wildlife and animals that are keeping it short. If you look through the grass, it's a wild pasture, and there's lots of unusual little flowers, all different colours. There's some alpine plants with white and pink and purple flowers. There's lots of little different wild flowers, yellows and pinks and blues, all showing around the grass in different little clumps and patches. So we're just going to take our eyes out a little further, and at the edge of the pastures we start to see some trees. There's lots of pine trees, and they're tall, majestic, and full of green, evergreen spikes because they're pine trees. The trees are proud and the branches are tall and strong, and they feel happy because during the winter these pine trees are covered in snow, and the branches are having to work hard to stay upright. So as we look a little bit further, the main objective of our walk has come into play. We can see a spectacular mountain range. So as you turn your head towards the left and slowly scan towards the right, there's a majestic panorama of mountains, all different sized peaks, some tall, some short, some pointy and some jagged. Some are snow-topped and some are not. The mountains are made of granite, and the granite is like a dusky grey. And if you look closely, you may be able to see a small waterfall coming down one of the mountains. You can hear the water trickling, and you can see the colour of the water as it comes down the mountain. It's travelling fast. There's a white foam to the edge of the water. And where the water comes down the mountain, the granite looks black and shiny. In the distance, there are some small dots of white, and when we focus our eyesight, we notice that there is a flock of sheep. And these sheep are making sure that the grass is kept short. There's probably some wild goats around, but they're quite shy and you probably won't see them. And then you may hear some sounds. So we've heard the sound of the water, but what about the wildlife? Wherever there's nature, there's always wildlife. There may be the sound of some birds. In the spring, the birds will be very active. They may be making a nest. They may already have eggs, and they may be feeding their partner or even feeding some babies. So they're working double time. They don't really care about you. You're in their way. They're looking for the little grubs and the insects. And you may just hear the sounds of something rustling by the trees off in the distance. The beautiful blue sky with a combination of the white-tipped mountains and the grey granite, with the green grass and the beautiful flowers. It's just calming and peaceful. So I hope you've built your mountain walk and that you're walking through the path, admiring the view that you have created. We all have now our own unique mountain walk that we've built with a little bit of help from my suggestions. No one will have the same views. We will all have created them differently within our mind. So just enjoy your imaginary walk along towards the mountains. It's a nice flat path, so there's no effort required other than putting one foot in front of the other. One thing we haven't spoken about is the beautiful, clean, fresh air that you'll be breathing in. You may smell the tones of the grass or the pureness of the water coming down the slopes. And the amazing freshness as the air hits your nostrils, comes into your lungs. You could be at altitude where the air is slightly thinner. And that makes the air, makes you need more air to breathe in. So just make sure you're breathing nice and deeply to bring pure, clean air into your lungs. So just breathing nice and deeply. Just take one more look around your panoramic mountain view before we start to bring you back to life. So just inhale and exhale. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Just bring movement back into your body. So if you've got a lavender bag or the towel over your eyes, then just gently remove it, keeping your eyes closed. The eyes will have adjusted to that black look and now you'll have an orange glow. So just keep your eyes closed for just a little bit longer to allow the eyes to settle down. We're going to inhale, bring the right knee up to the chest, and as you exhale, bring the left knee up to the chest. Just squeeze them in gently and rock yourself from side to side. So inhale and exhale. So if you suffer from low blood pressure, roll to the left and bring yourself up. If you have high blood pressure, roll to the right and bring yourself up to seated. If your blood pressure is fine, just come on up and bring your hands to your heart center. Just breathe nice and gently. And just slowly open your eyes. I thank you all for attending the live stream today. I hope